Hey there, Starcraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of Starcraft Brood War Remastered. Today, it's going to be a match between IdrA and Yoon Paradise here on Fighting Spirit. Got this replay off of TeamLiquid.net as part of an IdrA replay pack, and I figured people like to see IdrA replays, so I'm casting it right now. Bottom left-hand corner is the green Zerg player. It is Yoon Paradise. I'm going to call him Paradise from this point on. And in the bottom right-hand corner is the teal Terran player, IdrA. Alright, man, so IdrA, well known for his macro abilities, for his tactics, both in StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2. He's one of those players that bridged the gap honestly, quite well. I'm trying to think of how many players really had nice professional careers in both StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2, and IdrA's on that list. I don't know how long that list is, to be honest with you. It seems like players kind of chose one or the other, or some players made an effort to make it in StarCraft 2 after StarCraft 1, but couldn't, and some players came along too late to really be involved in StarCraft 1, etc., etc. I don't know, man. Are there people that start playing StarCraft 1 professionally these days, just like right off the bat, never touched it before, they're young, right, and they want to do StarCraft 1? I bet there are. I bet there are some young Koreans who picked up Brood War to play it professionally, because that's still played at an incredibly high level consistently in that country. Other players from other countries, yes, that as well, but mostly Korean these days. Anyway, ZBT action here for ya. This is a special patron edition of the StarCraft. Hope you enjoy it. We're going to post this thing at patreon.com/FalconPaladin a full month before anybody sees it on YouTube. So enjoy watching this. Thank you so much for hitting me up for at least $1 a month on your subscription there. And again, if you can't support me, that's fine. I totally understand that. If you don't want to support me, I get that too. You will get these a month after those special subscribers can see them. So thanks again. Also, I am broadcasting on YouTube fairly frequently recently, I would say. It's been a couple times a week here that I've been casting lobby replays that people have sent in to me. Some of them are higher level. And then been playing some StarCraft Brood War myself on stream. So if you're interested, just here on YouTube, it's kind of hard to miss, honestly, if you're subscribed to me out here. And if you're not subscribed to me on YouTube and you're watching this, holy smokes, hit that subscribe button, hit the like. It lets my videos get seen by more people. The more people that are here, the better the conversation is in the comments, the bigger the channel gets, and maybe the more content I can do, I think is how that works overall. Anyway, pool first here out of IdrA into a hatchery. Just a pool hatch. No gas here, which indicates we're not going to see some speedlings. Just wants to make sure he has some lings for defense, if necessary, against what Paradise is doing. What IdrA is doing here. Paradise is, yeah, he's just being safe. He just has no idea what the Terran player is up to at this point, but it's just a 1-Rax expand out of IdrA. This gets a little bit confusing for me because IdrA played Zerg in StarCraft 2, so they re-switched. And he's playing against the Zerg right now, and so my brain is halfway like, oh, the Zerg player, clearly that's IdrA. No, it is not brain. Come on, you can do this. You can keep these straight. Macro hatch on the way from Paradise. APM for these players, and well into the 300s here for IdrA, about 250 or so out of Paradise. Little annoying drone action here. Zap, zap, zap. Just going to get on out. Goodbye, thank you for coming, and nothing to worry about here if you are IdrA. Second barracks on the way indicates a pretty darn bio-heavy opening from the Terran player. The question is, can you scout it accurately if you're Paradise? There's your gas coming up, but again, it's not even done, which means these lings will not have speed for quite some time. That said, I'm not sure if Paradise even made any Zerglings here. He did. He's got a couple to deal with the scouting SCV, but otherwise, it's not a ling flood or anything along those lines, period. Nothing to worry about there. So that third hatch is coming up. Our Terran player is getting gas of his own now. Just going to try to hold his own. Probably going to throw down a bunker if he feels like that's necessary. If he feels like a lot of lings are on their way. Having a bunker can be pretty useful, as speedlings do pretty well against Marines in smaller numbers. And yeah, they're moved across the map, but there aren't that many of them, so nothing to worry about here from the Terran player. Hatchery still coming up, and there's a lair. Okay, I was going to say Paradise needs to go for a Hydralisk Den or something here in the first 4 minutes, and he's going for a lair. Hasn't taken his second gas yet, so it still could be Mutalisk, but I'm not convinced it is. I love the scouting from IdrA. Cruising on in, and he's going to get the scout off. He is going to go ahead and see the lair. Very nicely scouted there. He's going to recognize there's no Hydralisk Den, so he doesn't have to worry about Hydra pressure for some time. He can really macro up as much as he wants. Maybe he can go for a third base, as the Academy is finishing completion for IdrA. And he's just making Marines, and more Marines here. So the Marine count getting pretty nice. We will sometimes see Vultures and see Terran players go directly into the mech against Zerg. It is pretty good, but it's really just a question of preference in the early game, whether you go for Bio or not. Honestly, Bio and mech can equally be pretty effective against Zerg depending on how well you play it. Early game, mid game, late game. Usually don't see a transition from mech into Bio, though. You do sometimes see a transition from Bio into mech. Ah, a Zerg after my own heart. Here's Paradise, moving out with some Lings. Metabolic boost is on the way, but it's not done yet. And sometimes I like to see if a Terran player is being this greedy, or they really just fully saturated 2 bases. Got a handful of Marines here, but no medics. I like to see if I can take it down with a bunch of Lings, but this is not going to go well for Paradise at all. This is well placed. The Marines are going to avoid getting surrounded here, I think, and there's just like a 1-to-1 ratio of Marine to Ling, and that's not good. You want at least a 2-to-1 here, because, again, cost for cost. The Lings, 2 Lings cost 1 Marine. So yeah, they're going to pull out. They don't like what they see. Speed is done, which is nice, but the medics are here. That's going to help the Marines have some extra survivability. Stim's almost done too, which makes them even more dangerous versus these Zerglings. And Paradise, I feel like he kind of wasted these Lings. I don't think he needed them. I think those should have been drones back home, should have been his economy. He's making more Zerglings now. Oh boy. All right, well, Paradise, he just spent a ton of larva on Zerglings here that they should be drones. I don't know what else to tell you here. They should be drones. A Spire on the way. Second gas has been taken, so it's going to be a Mutalisk follow-up here. And basically, I think he just wants to know when IdrA's going to move out with these Marines and these medics. Is he going to wait for some tanks? A couple Marines do go down for maybe 1 Zergling. That's a fair trade from Paradise. But again, the Lings, I'm not sure they're getting the value that they need to be getting here. Barracks, 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 factory. And an engineering bay working on a +1 attack here for IdrA. He's just doing all the right thing. Are you seriously jumping on this? All right, Paradise is jumping on this, forcing everybody back to the safety, the relative safety of this ramp. The medics are healing up quite nicely. The Marines on the high ground doing a great job. The SCVs coming in support as well. A lot of Marines go down, a lot of Zerglings die, and that all it did was it lowered the Marine count for IdrA, which I guess is better if you're planning on going for 8 Mutalisks. So the Lings, they did get their value after all. Taking that Marine count down low. Where are the turrets? They're yep, there we go. Under construction now. Basically, we can start them when the Mutalisks start building, and there's a timing that you have to know in order to get that done correctly. And IdrA, just on top of it, man. He knows what's up. Paradise's APM has jacked up to around 300. Zerglings at the front saying, are you moving out yet? Are you moving out yet? Do you have a tank or anything? No, definitely not. But missile turrets are here to help. If it was just the Marines, just a handful of Marines that remain, then IdrA would be in a huge amount of trouble just versus these 8 Mutalisks, but not the case. Third base now on the way here from Paradise. Really trying to keep IdrA on his back foot here to prevent him from getting a third base, prevent him from moving out by playing the role of the aggressor here. That Muta group is big, but a bunker is... I mean, a bunker is Mutalisk's worst nightmare. They can handle turrets to a certain extent. That's 4 of them, though. 5 of them? Whoa! All right, you're not getting anything done, Mutalisks. Not at all. There are so many turrets up. 1, 2, 3 here inside the main base. 2 up here in the northern section of the main base. And then 5 at the natural. Yeah, this might be an overreaction here from IdrA with the number of turrets that he has, but by golly, it will keep him safe. Maybe a couple SCVs can die to this, but no matter where you go with the Mutas, is there another one under construction? Holy crap. I mean, at some level, you do definitely want to make a lot of missile turrets in response to the number of Mutas that are out. And you know what? That's 12. So maybe this is the appropriate number here for IdrA. Pretty good Muta stacking here. Takes down a couple turrets, but again, we still have, there are still 4 and a bunker present. The Mutalisks don't like that at all. How many are remaining here? Still 11, not bad. Haven't lost a Muta in a while. Whoop! I jinx it, and a Muta does die. Third base about done here. There we go, Paradise timing. Gets that third base up. He's working on Lurker Aspect. He's got himself that macro hatch. He's working on +1 ground armor. And getting a sunken at his front door, just in case these Marines push out. What these turrets mean, though, is these aren't Marines. These can't push out. Which is why it seems like sometimes professional players are a little bit loath to make static defense, is because they can't push out. You know what I mean? Boy, that Muta group has really been taken down. There were 11, and there are only 9 now, so 2 extra get rocked there. Group not quite as big as it used to be. Queen's Nest, which means a hive, on the way here from Paradise. Going for a science facility here somewhere. There it is. is IdrA. Still on 2 bases, but again, the investment into Mutalisks means that Paradise really can't be on 4 bases himself. Although, maybe, I don't know, if he wanted to, he could afford it at this stage. The problem is this Marine group with the medic's pretty scary. They got +1 attack, which is a pretty big deal. Especially with Stim. I mean, it applies multiplicatively, I believe. Boom, 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 boom. IdrA's moving out. He's moving out to the natural base. There's really not much here defending this. A handful of Zerglings and some Lurkers coming in just in the nick of time, honestly. They are popping right when he needs them. That is still a pretty good group of Marines and medics, though. I'm not sure, honestly, if... Are these stacked? Yeah, 2 Lurkers stacked on top of each other. I kind of like coming at it from angles, but the stacking is what we're seeing here instead. Which you can do in Brood War. You can't do it in Starcraft 2. Burrowed units have to be separated. Because it makes sense, you're not sharing the same bit of Earth. Although I suppose one Lurker could be burrowed further down than the other 2, and so on and so forth. I don't know. IdrA's working on a Radiate for his science vessels, getting Siege for his tanks. He's got a pretty decent army out here ready to go. 76 to 75 total supply. And are we moving into a mech? Nah, man. Nope. Those barracks are humming. We're going bio from this point forward. Third base defended by Lurkers, sort of. There's a non-burrowed Lurker here. There we go. And one actually burrowed at the top of the ramp. So third base is impossible to take down with bio. You need some tanks to break that. That ramp is just a death, like a death area. Do not go in there. IdrA seems pretty just content to contain right now, as the Lurkers do hold this ramp here, and this bridge here, rather. Meanwhile, the Defiler man on the way from Paradise, recognizing the importance of having Dark Swarm available for your Zerg against the Terran player, especially when they have this much bio floating around. It really makes the Marines not as good as they otherwise would be when Dark Swarm starts popping up. Lings are like, are they here? Yes, okay, they're just sitting outside waiting for me to move. IdrA not going for third base, kind of feel like he should be right now. That's all right. Engineering Bay on the way. Second Engineering Bay for further upgrades. He's working on +1 infantry armor. He wants to get 2 upgrades at a time. Paradise is working on Adrenal Glands for a Zergling. Defiler Mound almost done here. Kind of like the position the Zerg player's in, to be honest. He's got 3 bases worth of gas. He's got Lurkers. He's got Lings. IdrA has done no damage to him so far, other than killing, a few Zerglings and a couple Mutas. It's 107 and 96 overall supply. IdrA is up. And this is where it gets a bit scary for the Zerg player. All these Marines, all these tanks. A science vessel to spot your Lurkers. And he needs Defilers out now. And by that I mean yesterday. He's getting Consume immediately. It is a bit of a lengthy upgrade though. So even if the Defiler pops, Dark Swarm is not going to be available here for some time. So you just set up the tanks. You start going after the Lurkers. We're going to play the game where the Scourge are going to try to pick the Science Vessel out of the sky, but the Marines are protecting quite nicely here. Slowly setting up, and there's your fire. Ba-bam, ba-bam. Scourge want to get in there. No, they do not hit the Science Vessel, and now nothing can hit it. The detection is just unopposed out here at the front for IdrA. Lurkers need to get the heck out of there. Consume's almost done. Defilers are popping. Irradiate on a couple of these Lurkers here too. The bio can't come in. There's still too many Lurkers present. The tanks need to re-siege up here. Paradise, where is it? Where is it? Consume is done. Consume is done. Dark Swarm now. Oh, nick of time. Just in the absolute nick of time there. That might have been GG, honestly, if Dark Swarm hadn't come up right when it did. Irradiate on the Defiler. I have to assume that's what the target is, and it is. Lurkers getting up. The tanks are in a huge amount of trouble. The bio getting spined aside, and look at the difference Dark Swarm makes. It's the same composition for Paradise. Dark Swarm just makes everything so much better. Wow, that was close. Didn't lose the hatchery. Didn't lose the all-important Nidus Canal either, which is nice. Staying in the safety of the Dark Swarm, and now this is a tankless bio group, which means they're not that good against Lurkers, and by that I mean the 3 Lurkers that are stacked up on this ramp. Fourth base on the way here from Paradise. Boy, Zerg player looking really good. Getting that Dark Swarm out when he did, it was the difference between winning and losing, honestly. Another like 45 seconds to a minute. I think he loses his natural and he probably loses the game. Oh, the timing. Did he irradiate these? I don't know if he has the energy to irradiate. He threw down some big time ones. He's got 1 irradiate here. If he kills these lurkers, he can get up here, but the Nidus Canal means you can throw up a, you know, bring a Defiler over. Dark Swarm something there too. Scourge, really want to get that Science Vessel, but IdrA doing a good job keeping it with the Marines. Is he going for this? Where's your Dark Swarm? Here. Here. Okay, well, all the lurkers died but one. So, that's all right, I guess. Irradiates the Defiler. This really just makes you appreciate how good Jaedong is at this. His Dark Swarms are on point. They're incredible every time. And you're just like, well, it's easy. He makes it look easy. It's not easy, man. Paradise is struggling with this. Additional reinforcements sprinting into the Dark Swarm. Is he actually protected in there? There isn't, like, the edges of the Dark Swarm are not actually protected. 2 tanks don't have going down. 111 to 104 supply. IdrA is still in the lead here, but he keeps losing units. His opponent keeps expanding, and IdrA's third base, I just don't see it anywhere. I don't see any sign. There you go. Okay, so third command center is on the way here in about 13 minutes, but it is nowhere near complete. This Muta group, I kind of feel like they should be more active. They should be harassing. Maybe, I mean, they're scouting this third base location here. The Lings are. Maybe the Mutas are going to be a surprise. I mean, the Mutas are pretty good at taking down Science Vessels, if they've been plagued, especially. Consistent Dark Swarm has been tossed up here at the natural base in case the Terran army moves in. And Consume makes spellcasting cheap, man. Oh, these wore off, and so these lurkers are all murder-fied. 2 kills on that siege tank. Trying to sneak around the bottom side of the map is Paradise, but IdrA's here. Dark Swarm. Oh, what a plague. Oh, what an absolutely disgusting plague. That was huge. Caught every Science Vessel, a ton of those Marines and Medics. Not all of them, but by golly, that was enough. Irradiate on the Defiler. He wants to get another spell down before he dies. Did he? Oh, just gets it down. Holy crap. That was amazing. Are these both irradiated? One of them is. I don't think the other one is, though. Nope. The other one is not. Wow. There's been some really clutch spellcasting here from Paradise so far. I don't know who this is. This might actually be somebody. I'll have to look at the Smurf list here, maybe in a moment when we have a bit of a quiet spell in the match. Yeah, your Marines aren't doing anything here. Tank fire either. These lurkers are too spread apart. Splash damage doesn't do anything to the other one. So fourth base is dead. Paradise didn't protect this sufficiently, and as a result, it's toast. Another irradiate. Another Dark Swarm comes up on an almost dead Defiler, effectively dead Defiler there. Another tank down. Paradise is doing a fantastic job keeping this tank count down from IdrA. So he loses the fourth, which is a huge problem. IdrA still doesn't have a third, though. So maybe not as big a deal as I thought. He's trying to land it over here, but there's a single Marine, or single Zergling blocking it, single couple Marines coming up to save it. IdrA, the main bulk of his army. Ooh, free Science Vessel, though. Ooh, pulling back. IdrA's awareness is better, I think, than Paradise's is right there. And I think he's just going to irradiate all of these lurkers and then go up the ramp and make it happen. Man, this is problematic, though. Lurkers at the front. Just absolutely crushing. 5 kills on that lurker. 6 kills on that lurker. Effective stuff. Paradise for taking a replacement fourth base along the left side here. These lurkers are all dead, except for the one. And you know what? IdrA decides he doesn't want to go up that ramp after all. Turns out, did we just... I saw some... With their Scourge? I don't know. Dropships here for IdrA. More and more Lings on the way from the third player, Paradise. Is there anything? Yeah, man, there are 3 lurkers in that Dark Swarm. But oh, there we go. I was going to say, it's expire eventually. Oh, it should not get free kills, though. Oh, I guess you got to tank it, though. Oh, man. Is he going to get... Where's his Defiler? It's in here with a group of lurkers. He's slow. He's trying to get up to the front to throw down another Dark Swarm. He's going to get irradiated by somebody here sooner. Like, there it is. There's the irradiate. Dark Swarm, go. Here, go. 1, and gets the second one down. Paradise has the most clutch lurker Dark Swarms I've seen in one game. The serious number of Dark Swarms I've seen is insanity here. Natural base in a lot of trouble for IdrA. Lurkers stabbing down everything. If you try to retreat, you just die. Look at these lurkers taking spines. Oh, some of them actually do manage to make it out. Surprisingly well done. So the natural base is toast. Third base up and running, though. The SCV transfer is somewhat successful to get over there. Probably going to have to lift off your natural at some point here. IdrA, that means you can't scan, which is a problem. At least scan from this ComSat station. Your main base still has one, which is really useful, but having one is worse than having two. All right, coming in with the science vessels, irradiating all of the things in revenge here. Plague does catch the science vessels. Where's that Mutaflock? They're in here. They need to find the science vessels and wipe them out. Yeah, so natural base does lift off, coming down the ramp. Going to try to deal with these lurkers with just bio, which pretty good splits. Not bad, actually. The lurker spines can't hit all of you. If you're in range, if you're in a, well, now you're grouping up a little bit, but that's okay. It worked out in the end. You got rid of all the lurkers. You can land your natural base now. You can repair it. Science vessels are just sitting out here, sitting ducks. The mutas here are the mutas. I see you guys. I see you running around. Fourth base is done and getting saturated for Paradise here at the 9 o'clock position. 3 o'clock base for IdrA up and getting saturated here too. This is a pretty good match. This is a pretty fantastic ZVT. 6 o'clock position being taken by Paradise. A little bit close to the Terran, if I'm honest with you. It seems pretty exposed. Maybe it counts as a ninja expand. Just because of how close it is. And maybe IdrA's not going to check there, because why would he check there? The mutas are interested in trying to harass this third base, but there are enough Marines and medics there to shut that down. The science vessels pull back to the safety of the Marines. Dark Swarm is up, and IdrA hasn't really been able to break this all game. Ever since the Dark Swarm came up, he hasn't been able to do anything into the natural. IdrA's up still, 142 to 107. He's taking a serious lead in overall supply here. It's just the composition, I think, is a little bit better from Paradise. He's got the lurkers. What are the upgrades on these guys? No upgrade, just armor. All right. Just armor. Kindness plating coming in, which means we are going to see ultras at some point. Irradiate catching that Scourge. I feel like that was an accident. IdrA says it is time. No, just time to get rid of that Dark Swarmed lurker who's sitting out here on his own. Very, very unprotected. Scourge. Oh. Second. Okay, got one. Man, the irradiates on these defilers is so good. Need some spores at your front, dude. You need something to handle these guys because they are causing you some major problems, Paradise. Extreme problems. Another irradiate? Boy, howdy. Alright, another irradiate. It's cool. Yeah, Paradise, he's sitting on six bases now. He's taking a 6th up in the top right. More and more dropships here. Did I miss a drop? Damn it. I missed an entire drop. I'm so sorry. I saw the dropships heading down, and I didn't notice. I don't think anything died, though, other than maybe some drones here in the main. But these are injured buildings, and they were not injured before. Here comes IdrA coming in. Dark Swarm, problematic. Irradiating the defilers. Handles that somewhat. It's got the fire bats in the mix here, though. Are there any lurkers down here? Is this all just Zergling? Oh, that's bad news for these Lings. There are fire bats in the mix. Getting picked off. Another great Dark Swarm allows the Lings to extend out a little bit more, kill some more of these Marines and a couple of these medics possibly, but fire bat doing serious work. 16 kill Firebat defensive matrix coming up on this guy. 18, 19 kills, 20 kills. Let's keep it going, but here come the Ultralisks. And for Firebat in a bad way now. He didn't catch the plague, which is nice. Oh, the mutas on top of the science vessels. Oh gosh. I'm not. That's another one. Oh, damn it. Look at this Ultra. 6 kills already. Irradiated Ultralisk, causing some damage to his buddy, but he doesn't mind all that much. And Paradise, with one fell swoop, manages to pull back about even here. It's 120 to 115. 129 in fairness for IdrA. He's up by quite a bit. 6 and 8 kills on these Ultras. The Ultra Tech, the Ultra Anti-Tech was not here yet. Paradise's little sneaky base at the 6 o'clock does get found by IdrA and wiped out pretty darn easily. The Science Vessel group is down from like 15 to 4, which is not ideal, but again, Paradise has a ton of bases everywhere, and he's making 4 Ultras at a time. And Ultra Dark Swarm is a pretty darn good composition, as it turns out. Oh, Marine picks off that Scourge. Nicely done, and just enough Science Vessels to irradiate a lot of these Ultras, man. They will murder Zerglings who are around them and hurt their other Ultralisk friends too. So just going to split them out, wait for the Irradiate to wear off. You can't do anything about it. 3 of these Science Vessels got plagued, though. They're going to be seriously injured sooner rather than later. Paradise did lose the Mutalisks by flying them a bit too far into Terran territory. He would do well to build a couple more. Honestly, finding these Science Vessels would be nice. Making 3 at a time, it seems. IdrA was at least for a second there. So he weakens up the Ultralisks. Nope, Scourge catching a couple of the Science Vessels after the cost irradiates, though. So, I mean, you're trading Science Vessels for Ultras here effectively. 2 irradiates brings them down to pretty low health, if not death. You know, it doesn't kill them. 2 irradiates. It looks like it does. Yeah, 1 irradiate takes them below 50% health, and the other one will finish them off. All right, Dark Swarms and Plagues are going to be the order of the day here for Paradise. Alright, man, the Fire Bats are there for the Lings. They're not really there for the Ultras, as it turns out, but no protected Dark Swarm there. Where is it? There's your Dark Swarm. A lot of your Lings have already died, though. Ooh, and the Ultra does get killed there. The splash damage with the units that are close to each other. Irradiate's happening here, too. IdrA looks like he's in full control right now. Another great Dark Swarm. Irradiate actually hurting the Marines that are trying to kill these Ultras. Trying to take down these tanks and actually pushing back with just a couple Ultralisks and a couple Dark Swarms here. Top right-hand base. Gonna die here. IdrA making stuff happen there, too. Alright, so it's a 3 base to a 4 base. All of a sudden, IdrA is scratching and clawing his way back into this game. Still nothing to kill these Science Vessels, and I think that might be the downfall of Paradise here. He's been doing so well, but the Science Vessel count for IdrA has just been insanely high, pretty consistently here. And this little death march of Marines and Medics. 3-3 Marines and Medics, by the way. 5-2 here on the Ultralisks. This guy has got 2 kills, but he's seriously injured. Where is your Dark Swarm? You can't do this without Dark Swarm. He's trying. Look at him try here. He's trying to get a nice concave of Ultralisks. They're doing pretty well for themselves. I can't imagine how much better they would be doing if they had Dark Swarm. It would be over, I think. But Lings coming on in with Adrenal Glands, with that +2 attack and 3 armor. Ultras are getting whittled down here piece by piece by piece. 5 kills on that guy, but he is forced to retreat with everybody else. Pulling back to the safety, the relative safety of the creep here. Overlord, bad rally, I suppose that one is. And yeah, IdrA pushing up on this 3rd base that has been pretty safe consistently throughout the game. Engagement in the middle here. IdrA slowly pushing forward with what he's got. And yeah, Sunken Colony not enough to hold against 3-3 Marines with medic support. Boy, that Ultra died fast. Desperation Lings there, and that's your good game. Yoon Paradise has left the game, and IdrA is your winner in 24 minutes and 51 seconds. Woohoo! What an absolutely insane match that was. Well done by IdrA, though. Science Vessel production, even after losing a bunch of them, he was able to get them back up and running. And then just Marines and tanks and keeping the pressure on the Zerg player, wiping out his sneaky bases. 3 bases got killed there in the last 5 minutes. And Paradise just did not have the production available to do this. He didn't have enough Dark Swarm. I mean, IdrA's army did a good job splitting it, too. He's got this guy doing the pressure, and then everybody else out there on base wiping duty. Got his 3rd base up. That's all he ever really needed here. Got his upgrades running, which was fantastic. Did not upgrade the tanks. All the upgrades went to the Marines and the Fire Bats and stuff. Man, Hero Firebat in there. What did he end up with? Like 18, 19 kills? That was awesome. That was super cool. So, nicely done. I mean, it looked like Paradise had it for a second there. He had the Dark Swarm, he had the Lings, he had the Ultras, but he ran out of Dark Swarm at the end there. Science Vessels consistently picking off Defilers over and over again here. IdrA doing a great job with that. And then just production, as always. One of IdrA's strengths has always been his production. He will always be spending his money well, producing units consistently here. Most of these barracks are producing stuff right now. This one is not, but that is pretty good overall. And he gets the win. So Terran on the winning end of that one. 153,000 points compared to 157,000 points. It's a rare instance where the losing player actually has more points than the winning player did. But that's just because Paradise produced a ton of units, killed a ton of units, lost a bunch of units there too. That's a lot of Zerglings that went down. Tell you that much. Structures raised fairly even here, mostly through muta harassment from Paradise, and mostly like hatcheries and big things from IdrA. And then resources here. Check this out. This is another instance, very strange, where the Zerg player who lost, the losing player had way more gas mined, way more minerals mined, and way more total spent here. About 11,000 more spent on units there for Paradise over IdrA, but IdrA got the win. Just cost efficient, man. Irradiating all the things, keeping close together, protecting his science vessels as best as he could, upgrading his marines and his medics, making sure his tank count is there. It's not an insane tank count, but it was enough. And he got the win. So that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of Starcraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.